Hi everyone, welcome to the Chatham Center for Active Living. I'm Anna and this is Flash TV. I'm proud to be announcing new services and programs this month alongside some annual events. December is going to be joyful and bright around the CFAL and I hope to see you all here. Before anything else, I need to talk about the new gift wrapping service, Timeless Tidings. At times, gift wrapping can feel like an art form, but sometimes that joyful task can quickly turn into a hassle. Thanks to our amazing volunteers, every Wednesday and Friday in December, Timeless Tidings will be offered at the CFAL. This service is an opportunity for Chatham seniors to bring in any holiday presents they wish to give to loved ones. Gifts will be boxed or bagged, wrapped and labeled free of charge. I'm proud to announce that due to the generous funding from the Friends of the Chatham Council on Aging, we will be supplying all wrapping materials. If you're interested in having gifts wrapped, please call and sign up for a slot today. A longtime favorite of the community is back this month. The Coffee With program welcomes back Chief of Police Mike Anderson. On Wednesday, December 6th at 9 a.m., come to the CFAL for coffee, breakfast, refreshments, and conversation with the Chief. Don't forget, every Monday in December, we offer ukulele lessons. This program is taught by Bert Siegel, an accomplished teacher who has been playing the instrument for over 60 years. Join Bert on Mondays at 2 p.m. All levels are welcome, and thanks to the Friends of the Chatham Council on Aging, we're proud to offer instruments for rent for those who are interested. If you already have a ukulele and are interested in picking it back up, call the COA today to register. Our Golden Oldie series with Barbara Nickerson continues in December, highlighting some wonderful holiday films. On Tuesday, December 5th, we'll be showing Christmas in Connecticut, a 1945 classic that is a seasonal favorite featuring Barbara Stanwyck and Dennis Morgan. Then, on December 19th, come to the CFAL to watch The Man Who Came to Dinner. A fast-paced satire is full of wit and sophistication featuring Bette Davis, Ann Sheridan, and Jimmy Duran. For those of you viewers who celebrate a December birthday, join us on December 21st for the Friends of the COA Birthday Luncheon. Enjoy sandwiches, singing, and sweets. Call today to register. There's so much information out there when it comes to senior living opportunities. And this month, we are excited to host Karen Bain from EF Senior Care. On December 6th at 11 a.m., Karen will be hosting an informative presentation that will provide information and clarity when it comes to senior living and knowing when to make the move. The annual holiday concert will be held December 13th from noon to 1:30 at the Chatham Community Center. We are thrilled to be welcoming the 20-piece band Sound Dunes back. Join for holiday tunes and refreshments. You don't want to miss the VNA Exercise as We Age presentation, where you'll learn more about the aging process, exercise intensity, physical activity guidelines, and some basic exercises that can be done at home. Give us a call to register. This month, our book club will be reading The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Thanks to the Friends of the COA, there are available copies at the CFAL. In observance of Christmas, the Center for Active Living will be closed on Monday, December 25th. I am so excited for this next segment of Flash TV. It's time for Aging Voices, Stories of Services and Community. Each month, I'll have a chance to sit down with Chatham community members and hear their stories. Please join me in welcoming Barbara Nickerson. Good morning, Barbara. Thank you for being here with me.
My pleasure.
I appreciate you being willing to sit down and talk.
Sure.
How are you today?
I'm great.
Good.
Loving the sunshine.
I know, it's so nice. It's lovely.
Beautiful.
A little cold today, though.
Yeah.
So I thought we could kind of talk about what your life in Chatham's been like and how you've been involved with the Council on Aging and what you do with us.
Okay. Well, let's start off with the council. For about 6 months, I've been a volunteer and hope to continue to do some volunteer work here. I've been hosting something that the council calls Golden Oldies, which is my classic movie series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we do this twice a month here at the council. And the format I use is we try to have one comedy and one suspense. I've been featuring a lot of Hitchcock for the suspense because he's so good. And before each movie, I do a 5-minute introduction. Mm-hmm. So I do a lot of research on each film, and then I talk about the background of the film, and then we watch it together. And it's a lot of fun. And we've had a lot of regulars that come, and I hope there'll be more people in the future that'll consider coming.
How did you get into these classic movies and what?
I think years ago I discovered Turner Classic Movies, which is a wonderful old movie channel, and I got hooked on them. And I've been watching that channel and increasing my DVD personal library for years. Then I started having parties at my home for family and friends, doing the same format in a casual play, you know, in my house for my friends. And then I realized it's almost like a mission for me. I want to educate the public on the value of some of these old movies. Many people have not seen some of the really good classic movies. So to go to a public venue like the COA and kind of expose more people to it, I'm really excited about. And my thing is 30s, 1940s, and 50s.
What do you think your favorite movie that you've done here is so far?
So far, you had to ask, because all of my Hitchcocks are like just my faves. I like Notorious a lot, which was Hitchcock, but all of his early stuff is really good. Old movies have good acting, good writing, good directing, unbelievable cinematography, let alone the costumes. So when you put all that together, you got a winner.
So true.
You know, kind of compared to some of the newer stuff that's out, you know.
Golden Oldies is one of our most popular programs. Can you just kind of tell me a little bit more about what?
Well, one of the things I find fascinating about classic old movies is the connection to history. I'm kind of a history buff, and I wish I had been shown some of these movies when I was a student growing up. I would have learned even more about real history. For instance, the movie Mrs. Miniver, which won an Oscar and was very popular in 1942, featured a whole thing about Dunkirk. Well, yes, there was a new movie recently about Dunkirk, but guess what? Back then, this is how I learned about Dunkirk, because I didn't learn it in school.
Sure.
I watched this movie, and it was featured in this movie. And it was such a well-done movie about the World War II, when the United States wasn't fully into it. The Churchill described the movie as the equivalent of getting a flotilla of destroyers. In other words, the United States wasn't fully into the war, and Britain was begging us to get into the war, and the movie was kind of propaganda, but it was so well done that Churchill felt it was a really plus, and that America would get into the war more and help him as an ally out even more. Yeah, so there's a lot of history. When I show the movies, I always say, by the way, if this came out in 41 or early 42, this appeared in the movie houses 2 weeks after Pearl Harbor. So put yourself in the shoes of American citizens sitting in a movie house 2 weeks after Pearl Harbor. What must have they felt like? Probably loving a comedy to get their mind off of what was going on in the country at the time. So I love the connection of history and old movies. For instance, you don't see a movie nowadays that have really interesting nightclub scenes, and it looks so romantic and interesting and fun, and the great bands and the outfits and the ambiance of everything, but you did in the old movies.
Yeah. And you're also going to be doing something with us in January, right?
I am. One of my side things is crafting. I tend to be more of a paper crafter than anything, and I'm going to offer a class in January that's called Mail Art. And we use all kinds of paper products, including magazines, and we make them into envelopes and do unusual things that can be sent through the mail in decorating things. And it's hard to understand until you see some examples of it, but it's a lot of fun, and people love getting mail. Nobody does it anymore, so to receive anything in the mail is a big deal.
So true.
Yeah,
It'll be awesome. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I think so.
How did you kind of get into doing crafting and things like that?
Just needed some hobbies. I cannot paint or draw a stick figure, so I kind of figured out what else can I do, and I fell into stamping and stenciling and other kinds of crafts and
Like scrapbooking,
kind of, yeah, but even more so, all kinds of paper things. And then I found that you could make them as gifts and presents, and people love homemade things. So that's been fun.
And so did you grow up in Chatham?
I did.
Wow.
I was born and bred here. Went to Chatham schools, moved away, moved back about 35 years ago. So I went off with a career and came back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And you wanted to talk to us a little bit about some museums in town, right?
Well, one of the really cool things about Chatham
Yeah.
is that it's a really small town, but it offers so many wonderful things and opportunities. And personally, I know when I have company that comes to town, I make a point to take them to our two phenomenal museums, which is the Atwood House, which is the Historical Society Museum, Stage Harbor Road, phenomenal. My ancestors are painted in the barn there. When you go into the mural barn, all my relatives are in there. It's kind of cool. And the Marconi Maritime Center is phenomenal. I also had relatives who worked there. It's a piece of history that is unbelievable. We just found out, I found out from a relative recently that even Amelia Earhart had contact with the Marconi years ago, and Charles Lindbergh and some of these people. And there's a lot of World War II history there because of the tracking of the submarines off the Atlantic Ocean. So, I mean, they're both unbelievable and places everybody needs to go see.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never been to the Marconi Museum.
Gotta go.
I'll have to check
Gotta
it
go.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
You
cool.
can't work in Chatham and not been there.
That's right.
So, anything else you want to tell us about?
Well, the one thing that's sort of a museum that I didn't mention is the Nickerson Family Association campus in Chatham-Port. It's a genealogical research center, a museum. There's 2 buildings. Within the next year, we're going to have a barn erected there, so there'll be another building there. And it houses all of our genealogical research and information, and it's great. One of the things we did several years ago there is that we had an inkling that near that site, our ancestor who founded the town of Chatham, William Nickerson, in the 1600s, we had a feeling that his original homestead was very close by. So we actually hired an archaeologist who came to the facility. We cut down some shrubs. We worked something out with the Conservation Foundation that owns the land nearby. And we actually started in 2018 and did a real archaeology dig down into the ground. And they measure it all off. It's really amazing. And guess what we found?
Did you?
Remnants of William's house.
Oh, wow.
So the fact that this man lived here in the 1600s, made a deal with the Indians, bought the town of Chatham, had 10 children, was clever as all get out. We found artifacts that show that he did all kinds of different trades himself. And one of the things we found was a key that was intact, maybe was to the house. We found coins that were minted back then. We now have thousands of pieces of artifacts from that dig. Pieces of pottery shards, just all kinds of things. And the really amazing thing, when you think about it, you'll never believe how big this house was.
Really?
16 by 50 feet.
Wow.
So the archaeologist had a funny expression. He coined it Cape Cod's first mansion. Or McMansion, if you will. But I'm sure it wasn't. But still, that's a really long, big house.
Yeah.
And so the fact that you can go to our research center and in basically the backyard, and we have signs out there with QR codes. We had to cover it back up again, but there's a lot of information there about what we found and what will happen in the future. So,
did you guys leave all of the artifacts that you found where they were, or did you?
Some have been taken out and we're housing and labeling, and some are in shadow boxes inside one of the buildings you can view.
So cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. So I'm from William Nickerson, #1 guy in town. I am a 12th generation descendant.
Wow, very cool.
And now we're up to like 14, young kids and like that. Matter of fact, something happened the other day and I was confused about it. And I said, well, this because there's so many Nickersons. I was confusing people with my name. It's like 8 people with my name. It's crazy.
Wow, that's so fun.
Yeah, it's really nice to have roots, if you will.
Absolutely. Well, that's great. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And definitely people need to come and check out the Golden Oldies because it is one of our most popular programs that we have.
Absolutely.
We're very thankful to have you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.